The pyrus to the rescue. The pyrus is an NERA Pacific who works on the Fat Controller's Railway. Most of his class are scrapped now, except for him, Gordon, and Frank Scotsman, two of his surviving brothers. He was built for fast goods trains. He was saved from scrap thanks to James, Henry, and Rachel, Rachel was a former brakeman who used to work on the other railway with him. The pyrus now loves working on the Fat Controller's Railway in his new life. However, just lately he gained a number. He was now the Northwestern Railway's 32 engine, and he's very proud of it. One day in Alfred's yards, he, Rachel, and Philip were talking. Philip and James, who was also there, were doing shunting. Philip was just taking a rest while James was doing the other shuntings. The three engines were telling stories to each other. "Oh, I got one," replied Rachel, "about the time when Philip came to work at Croman's Gate." "Oh yeah, I remember that," replied Philip. "Do tell," replied Pyrus curiously. "Well," said Rachel, "Ivor had to go away, so Philip was sent to take his place. When we first met, we didn't get along very well," replied Philip. "Indeed we didn't. And my word," replied Pyrus, "I thought you would never act like that, Rachel. Not like that back on our old railway." "Well," replied Rachel, "I just couldn't stand Philip at first." "Well, my goodness," replied Pyrus. Just then, Philip noticed how Jane wasn't listening. "Something doesn't feel right. Hey, Rachel, go ahead and tell Pyrus the rest of the story. I'm just going to check up on James." "All right then." Rachel still kept on telling the story. James sighed. He wasn't in his best form today. "Hey, James." "Oh, hey, Philip," said James. "Something's the matter, isn't it? What's wrong?" "Nothing much," replied James. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure," said James sadly. You can tell me anything, you know." "Well, it's just nothing," replied James. Something's not right about him." "Well, what an interesting story that was," replied Pyrus. I thought you and Philip were never going to get along throughout half of it." "We eventually did," replied Rachel. "Oh, you're back away, Philip. How's James keeping?" "He doesn't look well himself," replied Philip. "I hope he's okay." Not everyone has a good day," replied Pyrus. "Don't look at me when I was in the scrap yards." "True." "Oh, hey, Pyrus, do you have a story about you and back in your heydays? You mean when back in my when the NER exists?" "Yeah." "Well, I suppose I got a few stories," replied Pyrus, about my brothers and sisters and I, even Gordon and Scotsman." "Well, since Gordon was sold to your railway, not really much." James overheard. He started to get more sadder. He said, "I think I might like this story," replied Rachel. Then James puffed up. "Okay, guys. I know you may not be the formula members, especially Henry, since he's my best pal, but Rachel, you're my brake van. Pyrus, you're the engine that me, her, and Henry saved. And Philip, well, you live with Wellsworth with Edward, so I can tell you guys what's up with me today. If you don't mind spoiling your story to Pyrus. Not to all James as Pyrus. Do tell." "Well," said James, "it was about back on my old railway. It was back when I was built on the Lancashire and Shorewell Railway. This was before I was sold to Sodor, and I was still painted black." And I was kind of in my old ways, you know, the whole show off things. Since I don't do those anymore. I I had a lot of siblings, which all of them are scrapped now, as you can tell. However, two of them I was very close with. One was Justin, my brother. So, I was older than him, and I was oldest between my close brother and my close sister. Justin was the second oldest. He did he's all he did has some talking sense into us to get on with our work, and he sure did. He didn't mind the work as long as we have jobs to do it back on our old railway. We both were the oldest. However, we did have a sister, and she was a very close sister of ours. And oops, not again, Martha. Sorry, guys. Our sister was Martha. She was the youngest out of all of us, and let's just say she always gets into trouble. But when she was always getting into trouble when she was young, always derailing stuff or derailing herself. I'll go and get the crane, replied Justin. Look after her, will you, James, if you got time? Fine. Until the day came up, my old controller said that I was going to be going to a new railway. But a man who was the fat controller had decided to buy you, James. You should be going there tomorrow. Oh, thank you, sir. However, it was all sad when I had to go. Oh, I told my siblings how much I would miss them. Keep up the good work, guys. Make sure you do hard work on your new railway, James, replied Justin. And don't go messing with your wooden brake box. You know they're not strong enough. I try. Oh, try don't get up to scrapes like me. No, you always say those, Martha, as I puffed away to my new railway. Martha and Justin stayed there for a long time, even when I was still on the railway. However, when 1960 came, diesels were already coming in. Therefore, no one wanted to buy my brother or sister, so both of them were taken away for scrap as they were withdrawn from service. Then what happened? They were scrapped. I'm sorry to hear that, James, replied Philip. Same here, said Rachel. I know it's hard for you to miss all your siblings, James, replied Sir Pyrrhus. Believe me, Scotsman, and Gordon went through that. We lost all of our siblings. You're not just the only one. I mean, take a look at all different engines, like Edward's class or Thomas's class. They all lost siblings too. You're right, replied James, but it's so hard to forget about them, you know. We understand that, replied Pyrrhus. Just then, a workman came up. Sir Pyrrhus, you need to deliver a goods train to Kelsthorpe Station. Right away, sir. Anyway, replied James, I'd better get back to shunting. See you guys. And James sadly puffed away. Poor old James, said Pyrrhus to himself. I wish there was some way I could cheer him up. But he didn't know how. At Kelsthorpe Station, Sir Pyrrhus delivered his goods train, and waiting there were the 3 lorries, who used to be horrid, but now they were nice. Oh, hello, you 3, replied Sir Pyrrhus. Are you taking away my goods? We are, replied Lorry 1. You seem to be a bit down. What's up, replied Lorry 2. Sir Pyrrhus explained about James's story. Do you know any way we can cheer him up? Sorry, said Lorry 3. We're not steam engines like you, I'm afraid. Wait, we can't do nothing much about it. Yes, replied Lorry 1. Besides, we're lorries. Well, thanks for listening to me, guys, replied Pyrus. We better get going. See ya, as they went off. See you some other time, replied Pyrus. Just then, he knew a whistle in the distance. Now there's someone who can help me, he puffed. Puffing beside the Pyrus on the next track was Henry. Hello, the Pyrus, replied Henry happily. Henry, replied the Pyrus, just the engine I needed to see. About what? Asked Henry curiously. The Pyrus explained about James's story. Oh, replied Henry. That's kind of sad. And what about your siblings, Henry? Replied the Pyrus. I ain't them scrap. To be honest, most of us Black Fives are still alive. Really? Yeah. Most of my siblings are now on heritage railways. Oh, replied the Pyrus. Well, good for them. But not for poor old James, your best friend. I know, replied Henry. I would love to help my best pal in a way, but I'm very busy with the work on the main line today. I better get going. See you, Pyrus. And Henry puffed away. Pyrus sighed. There's gotta be a way I can cheer James up, he said. He, Henry, and Rachel saved my life from that scrapyard. There's gotta be a way, he said. Later that evening at Naphtha Sheds, the Pyrus was backing into Dale because the Pyrus now sleeps at Naphtha Sheds. At Naphtha Sheds were Meldoc and Harvey, who all two other engines that also sleep at Naphtha Sheds. Hello, the Pyrus, said Harvey. How was your day? Well, replied the Pyrus, it was kind of alright. Alright, replied Meldoc. Something's the matter. What's up? The Pyrus explained about James's story. Now I wish there's somebody I can help him. Well, most of my class are still kind of alive on heritage railways like Henry's, replied the Pyrus. Kind of same here too, replied Harvey. But us crane engines don't do much work, you know. True, replied the Pyrus. Just then, a car rolled up. Oh, the Fat Controller's here, replied Meldoc. The Fat Controller walked up to the three engines. The Pyrus, he said, I got a job for you, but it's gonna be a very late work. What is it, sir? He asked. I need you to bring a goods train, well, not a goods train, but some scrap to the mainland. Barrow? Correct, replied the Fat Controller. You are to take them there and put them in the siding and then come back here. Can you do it? The Pyrus was scared. He remembered how he was nearly trapped there by those two diesels who worked there, but he knew he didn't want to disappoint the Fat Controller. I'll do it, sir. That's a good engine. So he walked away back to his car. Wait a minute, replied Meldoc. Are you sure you want to do it after you got scrapped there? Well, I just had an idea, replied Pyrus. What is it? Replied Harvey. I am going to find James something there. What? Replied Meldoc. Pyrus explained his idea. I'll look through some scrap piles and see can I find something for him that's close to his brother or sister. Are you sure that's a good idea? Replied Meldoc. I mean, James rescued Rachel there, and they rescued you from there. Or like how Douglas saved Oliver and Toad there. Or even how Rusty saved Stepney, replied Harvey. I know it's dangerous, but I must make my friend better. He saved my life, of course, with Henry and Rachel. I guess if you want, replied Meldoc. Go ahead then, but don't say we warned you, though. Very well then. The Pyrus puffed away. The Pyrus collected his scrap pile as he raced down the midnight. the main line. It soon started to get dark as he went over the Vickerstown rolling bridge. When he arrived at Barrow, he shunted his scrap trucks into a siding. He looked around for any sort of thing he can use for James. Don't see anything, replies the pryus. I guess I'll head back to Sodor right now. I wish there was something that make James feel better. So, he said. Just then, two voices were heard. Do you think we're ever going to get out of here? Oh, I don't think we're never going to. Oh, I guess still no one trusts us after what we did on Sodor. Wait, that sounds like two voices, and they know Sodor. They must be there before, replies the pryus. He uncoupled from his trucks and went to look. Hopping towards he looked through sidings when he saw two coaches. Hello there, he said. Look, Zach, an engine. Who is it, Liam? I have no idea. I'm the pryus. I think we did saw you coming in. Are you from Sodor? Yes, says the pryus. Why do you ask? We've been Sodor before, but we caused trouble. Trouble? Replies the pryus. Yes, replied the two coaches. They explained with D199 and James. Wait, what? Wait a minute. They told me about you. You're those two coaches who caused trouble for them. Yes, replied both of them. But my word, replied the pryus. How come you're not scrapped yet? Well, replied the two coaches. When we were brought back, our controller was furious with us. Due to your behavior on Sodor, I will not allow you to work on my railway also. You'll be sent for scrap. The two of us wanted to apologize and make up for what we did, but we knew it was too late. Therefore, he was shunted in this siding, never to come out again. And we're still waiting to be scrapped, but they haven't got to us yet. How sad, replies the pryus. I remember D199 and James telling me about you. Who? They told me the James? Replied a voice. Who was that? Replied Zach. I have no idea, replied Liam. Well, they haven't told me your names, replies the pryus. But James said, James? There it goes again, replied Liam. Who is it? Replied Zach. Huh. James? James? Is that you? Be back in a minute, you guys, says the pryus. The pryus looked down all the sidings when he found an engine. You're not James. I may not, but I'm a friend of his. Wait, you look a bit familiar. I think he... Wait, you can't be... Martha? How do you know my name? She said. James told me about you, says the pryus. How on earth are you? It's a long story, said Martha. Well, no time for that. We gotta get you out of here. Come on. Soon, the pryus shunted Martha back to Liam and Zach. As I was saying, Liam and Zach, James and D199 never told me your names. That's because we never told them our names. Oh. Well, look who I found. We don't know who you are, they said. Me either, says Martha. This is Martha, James's sister. Oh, long lost sister. As I was saying, Martha, James told me about you today. Really? Well, even though it's gone past midnight, so I guess yesterday or whatever. But he told me about you and Justin. Justin? Replied Martha. Is he also on Sodor? I'm afraid not, replied the Pyrus. James reckoned the both of you were scrapped. How do you even end up here, and how you are not scrapped yet? It's a long story, said Martha. After the two of us were withdrawn from service because of the diesels, so the manager of Barrow didn't know what to do with us. So he decided to split us up. Split these two siblings up. He said that we don't want them about saying, crying to each other about how they're going to be scrapped. Martha! Justin! That should do the trick. Therefore, I was left in this siding to never come out again. But sadly, I never knew what happened to Justin. How awful, replies the Pyrus. No, I was in the same situation like the three of you. The Pyrus explained about how he used to be trapped in the scrapyard after his accident with Rachel. How Rachel was also trapped in the scrapyard. That sounds very nice, replied Rachel. But me and Zach here, which I don't know who they are, but I think our time is up. Agreed, replied Zach and Liam. No, says the Pyrus. I won't let that happen. Then, Liam and Zach, you may have been bold when you first came to Sodor, but since you've changed, you deserve a second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance, like I was. And Martha, James has always wanted to be seeing you since you were a scrap. And the faculty would love to have an engine like you on his railway. He cared for steam engines, and it's a safe place to go to. Believe me, I know. What do you say? I would love to go to Sodor and meet James again, and we would love to prove to the Fat Control we're trying to be useful now. Then we shall do it, replies the Pyrus. Soon things were set. The Pyrus had to go on tender first, while Martha was coupled up to Liam and Zach. Zach was the brake coach. The Pyrus decided to give his tail lamp to him as his crew fitted it on. Are you sure you'll be strong enough to pull all of us? said Martha. I'm used to goods trains, but I'm sure I can do it, replied the Pyrus. But as we were about to leave, they heard two voices. I hear a steamy, don't you hear one? Yeah. Sounds like it's coming up where we dumped those two coaches years ago. Oh no, it's not those two, is it? Bother, says the Pyrus. I know those two voices. They tried to stop James, Rachel, and Henry escaping when they got me. Sounds like it's coming over from this side, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? Wait a minute. Pyrus! Bother! Well, what brings you back here? You want to be scrapped already? We can arrange that. Get him! Hang on tight! Whoa! You won't get away this time, Pyrus! They rushed our barrel scrapyard, but the two diesels were behind them. There's no way you're going to pull all those at once, Pyrus. Without that red number 5 and 3 green engine and that brake van that we tried to scrap, there's no way you're going to escape this time. We see about that. Pyrus, that's right. There's no way you can pull all of us out. Yes, I can, says Pyrus. Just then, he noticed a set of points. Oh, boys! I'm slowing down. Quick, couple to the last coach. One diesel did. The other went after Pyrus. Pyrus jiggled the coupling from the diesel. Huh? Points, he shouted. Huh? Oh! Ha ha ha! Laughed Pyrus, Martha, and Liam and Zach as they rushed off to Sodor. Ow! said Diesels. Soon they rushed over Vicarstown Bridge, and they were soon on Sodor. "We did it!" says the pirate. "I can't believe I actually saved you all, especially you, Master, because James has been missing you." Then there was trouble. The pirate didn't know that he was heading into Vicarstown's yards. Henry was still getting steamed up to take the flying kipper, and Rosie was still this was doing some last minute shunting before going into the sheds, when they heard the pirate's whistle. "That sounds like the pirate," replied Henry. The pirate was blowing his whistle happily, because he was proud of himself. "The pirates," said Martha, "you might want to slow down because we're going into a yard." "But don't be silly, we're still on the main line." "He's right, you know," said Liam. "Stop! Stop!" replied Zack. The pirate knew where he was heading towards the buffers. "Not again!" He applied his brakes hard. But, oh! Luckily, no one was hurt. The pirate was lucky to stop him and Martha from derailing, but Martha's tender and Liam and Zack were derailed. "What the?" said Henry. "What's all this?" We heard you were taking scrap to Barrow," replied Rosie, "but we weren't expecting this lot to come back." "It's a long story," says the pirate. In no time Ivor arrived with the Chinese breakdown clone from Crowan's Gate, as D199 arrived with the Fat Controller on board. But when D199 looked at the accident, he was surprised to see the two coaches. "Wait a minute. You two," he said. "What are you two doing back on Sodor? You were sent away after what you did to me and James." "First off, our names are—" "Silence!" replied a voice. The back controller stepped out of D199's cab. Look, said Ivor. "But there's also an engine here." "Me and Rosie got nothing to do with it, sir," replied Henry. "We saw the pirates rushing in with these." "The pirates?" said the back controller. "You got some explaining to do." "I can explain it all, sir," he said. He told the back controller about Martha, about she used to work with James on her old railway, with Justin as they were siblings, and he told about Liam and Zack about the coaches that D199 and James had trouble with some few years ago. Oh, and he explained they had names. The back controller talked. First, he talked to Liam and Zack. "Even though we didn't know your names at the time, I was still very cross with your behaviorness. However, the pirates has told me you seem to know to behave yourselves and act kind, so you should be given another chance." "Oh, thank you, sir," replied the two coaches. "We'll be delighted to be useful again, sir." "As for you, Martha." Martha was worried. She thought she'd be sent back to the scrapyard. "The pirates has told me how much James has been sad about you lately, so I have decided that you should be brought for trial on my railway." "Wait, you mean it, sir?" she said. "If you pass your trial, you may stay on my railway." "Oh, thank you, sir," said Martha. "I won't let you down. I can be clumsy sometimes, though." The back controller chuckled. You soon get used to it once you'll be restored." "What paint will you like?" "I'd love to be yellow again, sir." "Yellow it is," replied the back controller happily. "The pirates, you shall take Martha to the steamworks. D199, I would like you to take the coaches with them." "Yes, sir," replied D199. As the back controller walked away to speak with some workers about what happened. "Well, what a night this been," said Ivor. "Indeed," replied Henry. "We can't wait to tell James all this." The pirates then had an idea. "Wait, D199 and Henry, don't tell James yet. I want all this to be a surprise for him." Henry and D199 agreed. "We're so sorry for what we did to you, D199, replied the coaches. We were just kind of young, you know." If the Rat Control is going to give you a second chance, said D199, then I will give you a second chance. The two coaches were delighted. But I don't want any more silliness, like how I used to act rude. Of course, said the two coaches. D199 smiled. The pirate shunted him after into a siding, while the Chinese breakdown queens got Liam and Zack back onto the rails. The pirates even turned around to collect Martha. To the steamworks we go, then, they said. We better be careful if we don't want to see James pulling the mail and see us. As they went off. The next day, the pirates was poured with Liam and Zack out of the steamworks all restored. It's good to be back in working order, they both said. Just like how I felt when I came back to work in service, replied the pirates. Don't forget me! Martha raced out of the steamworks. What do you think of my yellow paint? The pirates laughed. Oh, very nice, Martha, replied the pirates. Now Henry says he's waiting at Crome's Gate Yard for us with James. We better get a move on. As they went off. Well, I can't wait to see James again. James was still sad about his story, but Henry was trying to cheer up since he was his best friend. Thanks for cheering me up, Hen. It's all right, James, replied Henry. I know you're still sad about your siblings. Thus then they heard the pirate's whistle. Hello, Henry and James, he said, as he poured in with Liam and Zack. James was surprised. You too, he said. I thought you two were sent for scrap. How are you back here? Well, replied Liam and Zack, they explained how they are known to be good now, and they said how the pirates saved them last night. The pirates! Me and D199 told you they were troublesome. Why did you decide to save them? Well, they said they wanted to have a second chance, and both D199 and the Fat Controllers said they can have a second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance, James, like how Sonny was as what I heard. Yeah, replied Henry. Remember how we gave Sonny a second chance after Baz and Bernie? James sighed. You're right, guys. We should give them a second chance. What about me? Said a voice. That sounds familiar, replied James. But I still miss Martha and Justin. Well, one of them is here and useful. Martha raced up. Hello, James, my old brother. How's it been? James was speechless. Martha, I thought you were sent for scrap. I was, but thanks to the pirates last night, he brought me back to Sodor, and now the Fat Controller has trialed me to work on your railway. And he said, for now, I can stay here at Cromer's Gate with you on your branch line. James been to buffer. But that's amazing. I'll make sure I'll train you and try not to get you any more trouble like on our old railway. Martha chuckled. Indeed, old brother. The pirates, I can't thank you enough, said James. Did you see Justin by any chance? I'm sorry, James, replied the pirates. I'm afraid I couldn't find him. Oh, said James. Me too, said Martha. But at least we're together again. Justin would be happy if we were together again. You're right, replied James. Let's make the best of it. Anyway, said the pirates, how about we all take a little trip to Nap for a day? I think we all could do with a spin down the main line. And plus, it would give Liam, Zack, and Martha just some tour around the island. I'm in, said James. What about you, Hen? Indeed, James, replied Henry happily. Let's go then, replied the pirates, as they all went off to Napford for a tour. At Nafford, Merodach was just resting in a siding, waiting for his goods train to be shunted, and Philip was just preparing on diesel before he can collect his goods train from Merodach. When they all saw James, Henry, Pyrus, Liam, Zach, and Martha pulling into Nafford. "Huh? What's going on?" said Merodach. "What is this, a cavalcade?" replied Philip. "No, it's not," replied Pyrus. This is about James seeing her sister again, and two coaches have returned to Sodor. They explained about Liam, Zach, and Martha. "So, you're James's lost sister, eh?" replied Merodach. "Very impressive to meet you. And I must say," Pyrus, "for an angel like you who has only been on this railway for a year now, you have already impressed us longer Sodor engines." "Yes," said Philip. "Really useful indeed." Pyrus smiled. "Oh, I can't wait to work on this island," said Martha. "Once you're fully trained at my yard first," replied James. "Then you can port trains. When the faculty decided you can. I'll make sure I've fully trained you." "Oh, yes, brother," replied Martha happily. "It's good to be back on Sodor for a second chance," replied Liam and Zach. "Indeed," replied Henry. We all need to give a well done to the Pyrus." Everyone agreed. Even though Justin may not be here, but the Pyrus was very proud of himself for what he did. He was able to save two coaches who were given a second chance, and he was able to save a sibling for one of his most true friends who saved him from scrap. The Pyrus beamed to buffer.